Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 23, chapter entitled The Brahmana's Wife Blessed. So first I will read the summary and then we will chant the verse together. Summary. This chapter describes how Lord Sri Krishna, after inducing the cowherd boys to beg for food, showed mercy to the wives of some Brahmanas performing a sacrifice and made the Brahmanas themselves feel remorse. When the cowherd boys became very hungry, they asked Sri Krishna about obtaining food, and he sent them to beg some from a group of Brahmanas who were performing a sacrifice nearby. But these Brahmanas ignored the boys, thinking Sri Krishna an ordinary human being. The boys returned disappointed, but the Lord sent them off again, advising them to ask the Brahmana's wife for the food. These ladies had heard of Krishna's transcendental qualities and were very much attached to him. Thus, as soon as they learned he was nearby, they went to him in great haste, bringing all 4 varieties of food. In this way, they offered themselves to Sri Krishna. Krishna told the woman that while one can develop transcendental love for him by seeing his deity form in the temple, meditating upon him and chanting his glories, one cannot achieve this result simply by being in his physical presence. He advised them that since they were housewives, their particular duty was to help their husbands perform sacrifices. He therefore instructed them to return to their homes. When the ladies went back home, their Brahmana husbands at once felt remorse and they lamented, for anyone inimical to Krishna, his 3 births, seminal, Brahmanical and sacrificial, are all condemned. On the other hand, these womenfolk who have not undergone the purificatory processes of Brahmanical class or performed any austerity or pious rituals have through devotion for Krishna easily cut off the bondage of death. Since Lord Krishna's every desire is completely fulfilled, his begging for food was simply an act of mercy towards us Brahmanas. All the fruits of Vedic sacrifice and indeed all things on earth are his opulences. Yet, out of ignorance, we could not appreciate this fact. Having spoken thus, all the Brahmanas offered their obeisances to Lord Sri Krishna, hoping to counteract their offense. Nonetheless, out of fear of King Kamsa, they did not go to see the Lord in person. Text 1. Please repeat. Shri Gopa Uchuhu Rama Rama Mahabaho Krishna Dushta Nibarhana Esha Vai Bhadate Shut Naha Tatshantim Kartum Arhataha Shri Gopa Uchuhu Rama Rama Mahabaho Krishna Dushta Nibarhana Esha Vai Bhadate Kshunnas Tachanting Kartumarhatah. The books, it's Gopa, not Gopa. So it's, yeah. Shri Gopa Uchuhu Rama Rama Mahabaho Krishna Dushta Nibarhana Esha Vai Bhatate Kshunnas Tachantim Kartumarhatah. Shri Gopa Uchuhu Rama Rama Mahabaho Krishna Dushta Nibarhana Esha Vai Bhadate Kshunnas Tachantim Kartumarhatah. Shri Gopa Uchuhu Rama Rama Mahabaho Shri Gopa Uchuhu Shri Gopa Uchuhu Rama Rama Mahabaho Krishna Dushta Nibarhana Esha Vai Bhadate Kshunnas Tachantim Kartumarhatah. Matajis. Shri Gopa Uchuhu Rama Rama Mahabaho Word by word translation. Shri Gopa Uchuhu. The cowherd boys said, Rama Rama, O Lord Rama, Lord Rama, Mahabaho, O mighty armed one, Krishna, O Lord Krishna, Dushta, of the wicked, Nibarhana, O destroyer, Esha, this, why, indeed, Bhadate is causing distress, Shat, Kartumarhatah, you ought to do. Translation and purport given by disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, founder Acharya of ISKCON. Translation. The cowherd boys said, O Rama, Rama, mighty armed one, O Krishna, chastiser of the wicked, we are being harassed by hunger. and you should do something about it. Purport. The cowherd boys jokingly implied that since Sri Krishna is the subduer of all bad things, the Lord should subdue their hunger by arranging for them to eat. In this statement by the cowherd boys, we observe the intimate loving friendship they enjoyed with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namane. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschad Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So once again text. Shri Gopa Uchuhu Rama Mahabaho Krishna Dushta Nibarhana Esha Vai Bhadate Kshunnas Tachantim Kartum Arhataha. The cowherd boys said, O Rama, mighty armed one, O Krishna, the chastiser of the wicked, we are being harassed by hunger and you should do something about it. Hare Krishna. So here we are now hearing the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now this is new chapter, 23rd chapter. The chapter entitled this, The Brahmana's Wife's Blessed. So today we read the summary, and we know from the previous chapter we saw how Krishna, he steals the garments of the gopis, and then Krishna and Balarama along with the cowherd boys, they were wandering in the forest of Vrindavan. So now we saw in the last few verses of the previous chapter how they were wandering in the forest. They were tired. To free themselves from the tiredness, they drank some water from the Yamuna, and then they were going in the forest. They were playing. Now in this chapter, in the first verse, this is just continuation of the previous chapter. So even though they drank some water, still they were hungry. Actually, here it's mentioned that cowherd boys, because of the hunger, they were asking Krishna, do something about our hunger also. So they were asking like that. So the last verse commentary itself, Jiva Goswami mentions that it is not that cowherd boys, they were asking, because of their hunger they are asking, because those cowherd boys who were friends of Krishna, they are aware that even Krishna and Balarama, they were also hungry. So, in the garb of they were hungry, they are asking food, so that when they get food, they will share among themselves, and then even the Krishna and Balarama, they also, they will, free themselves from the hunger. So, we saw like that. And then, in this verse, we can see how these cowherd boys, when they were hungry, they were approaching Krishna. So this is natural, because for these cowherd boys and Krishna Balaram, they were so small, they were kids like. So these children, they don't bother about where they will get food and all. They simply want to play. Even every normal children, they just simply want to play. They don't arrange food anywhere, because the parents, they take care of the children, so they were not concerned about eating and all. So they simply want to play and enjoy. But when the hunger comes, they approach parents, so they will give food. So here also we see this cowherd boys, everyone were hungry, because they were because this is time for breakfast. Prabhupada also mentions in the Krishna book, because this is morning time. From morning they were going to the forest. This is time for breakfast. So when time comes, when hunger is there, they want to eat something. So they drank some water, but still they were hungry. And then here it's mentioned that cowherd boys were speaking to Lord Balaram and Krishna that, oh, Balaram and Krishna, previously you have killed so many demons, right from the birth. We see how Krishna killed so many demons like Putana, Sakatasura, Vatsasura, Dhenukasura, like that, so many demons he killed. Now saying that, oh, you killed so many demons, but now we are harassed by hunger, so now do something about that. So because here cowherd boys, they are asking Krishna for arrange for food, means it is not that they are demanding. This is like jokingly, it's mentioned they have loving friendship with Krishna. So jokingly and in a friendly way, oh, no, what something arranged for food. Like that, they have that intimate relationship they have, these cowherd boys they have for Krishna and Balaram. So, because this hunger, if you see, sometimes if the hunger is not satisfied, we may create some bad situation also. This hunger is not, it may look like a small thing, but in hunger we may commit some bad things also. Because in hunger we will lose our temperament, and then we will lose ourselves sometimes. This we have seen in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam itself. Parikshit Maharaj, when he was hunting in the forest, and when he came to the hermitage of a sage, Brahmana, he was meditating. When he enters the hermitage, the Brahmana didn't receive the King Parikshit properly, and then it's mentioned Maharaj Parikshit was hungry and he was thirsty, and we see how because he Kshatriya, so because he is not properly received, he showed his anger. And then how he showed his anger, he showed like, he took the dead snake and then put as a garland to that sage. So in that way he committed offense to the Brahmana. So that's why, sometimes in hunger we may commit some abominable things also. So it's very dangerous, because even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentions that kamat krodho abhijayate. When the kama desire is not satisfied, it turns into krodha, anger. And then krodhat bhavati sammohat smriti vipramaha. We will lost our intelligence and we will degrade ourselves. So Krishna mentions about that also. So, but we can also understand from the purport of Acharyas that there apparently it looks like Parikshit Maharaj was disturbed by hunger, but we know the internal reason why he acted in that way, because this is Lord's arrangement actually. Because Maharaj Parikshit is a pure devotee of Krishna, he was saved in the womb itself. So the pure devotees, they never disturbed by these bodily demands, but there externally he acted in that way so that Srimad Bhagavatam would come. For that reason, it looks like he is affected by that hunger and thirsty. And also, if you see Arjuna, even Arjuna, he is also a pure devotee, but by Lord's arrangement, he is put into illusion of family attachment. He is expressing the family attachment so that Bhagavad Gita would come. So this we know, but still we can learn from the Srimad Bhagavatam, from the Puranas, that how even this hunger, it may create some havak situation. So this kind of experience that when we are hungry, everyone has experience in our life. Like, I have some experience that when I was studying in schools, in school, the morning time, morning sessions will be like, some heavy subjects will be there, physics, mathematics, like that, some heavy subjects will be there. And then just prior to the lunch time, some class will go on. If some big in the mathematics class, if a big problem is going on, then the lunch bell will ring, and then we want to go to take lunch. But sometimes, we will be hungry. Okay, we will go and take lunch, but still the teacher will go on, taking class, and we will become so upset. Oh, what is this? Why he is not finishing? So like that, everyone has that experience of, when the time comes for, breakfast time is there, lunch time is there. But at that time, if we are not taking food on proper time, at that time some other engagement comes, then we will disturb. We cannot focus fully. So everyone has that experience. And also, sometimes we will be doing many services, and then we want to take some prasadam, and then when some prasadam is not there, we will be hungry, we want to take some prasadam. At that time, exactly, prasadam is not there, we will be disturbed. Oh, prasadam is not there. At that time, when temple commanders want to engage in some other service, then we will be very angry on temple commander. Oh, why he is giving service? So point is that when hunger is there, sometimes we may lose our temperament. So that is natural. That's why, this cowherd boys, they were asking, oh, this hunger comes, here it's compared, hunger to the demons. You killed so many demons, now hunger comes, we are harassed by that hunger, so please do something about that. So this is very a simple thing, but important also. And in the material world also, if you see, if in this material world, if that hunger, this thing is not there, then no one works. Everyone works so hard day and night just to satisfy our hunger, just to satisfy our belly, for making proper eating arrangement. Everyone works so hard. So we can see in this material world, everyone works for hunger, and when the hunger is satisfied, they get some strength, they engage in sexual engagement. So this is how this material world, whole world is running. So this is also an important thing. This hunger, to satisfy the hunger, is important thing. And in this material world, at least people should have some nice arrangements for eating. Because even Charvak, he told, steal, you can even steal, but eat in ghee, because the enjoyment is, in eating. We are working so hard for what? For this pleasure of belly, So we have to have nice arrangements for eating, and then we can see how these present leaders in the society, because people are, if you see scrutinizingly, people, they need something to eat, and then for that arrangement, instead of working for that arrangement, now we are so much, in the name of advancement, we want to develop so many technologies, so many industries, we want to construct so many big bridges, and we are to make our livelihood comfortable, we produce so many equipments. Air conditioner is there, fridge is there, fast moving cars are there. So all these arrangements are that people are all around moving so many things. But if you see, because they were so illusioned, they couldn't think that they were doing all these arrangements, but after all these arrangements, they couldn't eat properly. Yesterday also we heard how in the name of constructing road, they cut big trees. But from Bhagavatam, Prabhupada mentions that from the trees we can get so many things, and then Prabhupada mentions this honey, where you will get honey. If trees are there, bees will come, and then you can get nice honey. And then nowadays in city, if you see, we cannot get proper milk. Everything is in a powder, everything is chemicals we are eating. But cows, produce so nice milk, from the milks, thousands of preparations we can make. But people, they forgot this, and then they are working so crazily that they kill cows. But by growing the cows, by establishing the farm communities, people can live so nicely. They can have nice eating arrangements, and then even in material world, materially, if you speak, they can live peacefully. But modern people, they were so illusioned that they want to improve the technology. And Prabhupada also mentions many times in the class that people are so much fond of developing the industries, cars and all. But when you are hungry, you cannot eat nuts and bolts. You have to eat something, food. So you grow your own food and then live happily. So Prabhupada mentions like that. So, but people not thinking like this, and then whole life they were, they want to buy car, they want to buy apartment. In the cities, if you see, 50-floor apartment is there, and then there some small house he would have purchased in city like Bombay or Bangalore or Chennai. To purchase that one house, they took loan from the bank, and then to pay back, whole life they were working so, like ashes, they were working so hard. So hard they were working, but on their rat race, they were running like a rat. So, but if you see properly, they don't have even the enjoyment of eating properly. So this is very condemned civilization. This modern society, they cannot even eat properly, and because of this, even though they earn so much money, they are getting new diseases because they don't have proper food, healthy food. They are eating only chemicals. So they earn more in IT companies, in other industrial products. They earn more, and then for their health issues, they are spending lakhs of rupees in hospitals. So, and then even for studies, even to get same material education, technological education, they work so hard. And then, as I mentioned, they earn so much, and then spending in studies, spending in hospitals, like that. So people they don't have proper arrangements for eating. So the point is that here these leaders, this modern society, they want to accomplish so many big things, but they're forgetting the basic needs. Basic things they forgot. That's why here also we see how these Gopas, they were asking Krishna and Balarama, "Oh, you killed so many demons. Now hunger is there, so do something about that." So they were asking like that. So with the basic things, we shouldn't forget. So, but nowadays people, because there were no guidance, they were not reading the Shastras, they were not reading Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, they were misguided. So even I have one example that there was one family, they have a big family, and then the father is a big bank manager, and then they want to make his son study so nicely. So, what is this studies all about? This 10th standard, 12th standard, if you see, they want to get good marks. Good marks means they want to memorize all the things. Outside people, they were so crazy that they were selling some tablets, telling that if you take this tablet, your memory power will increase. So for that, that person who is the bank manager, he purchased some, because he couldn't score properly in the exams. So he gave some tablets to his son, and then he want to memorize all these things and then want to score good marks. But after that, because of the tablets, there are so many side effects. Obesity is there, and then some health issues are there. He couldn't eat even properly. Modern life, modern society, you can see how they were so much ignorant. Even if you want to enjoy materially, they couldn't eat properly. This is the thing. So this is there. And then this is one thing. And another place, these leaders, so-called spiritual organizations, and then some other charitable trusts, they were so much inclined about, feeding the poor, so there is so much scarcity for food. So for that they were working. And then feeding the hunger means they think that by that they can solve the problem. But even this feeding the poor, Prabhupada mentions, in this material world, this is not that poor man, rich man. Everyone is poor. In this material world, everyone is hungry. In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, 12th chapter, Prabhupada in one of the purport, he mentions that everyone in this material world is hungry. They are hungry for what? Hungry for spiritual food. As I mentioned, people were working so hard like this, they were illusioned and they were dissatisfied. Whatever material satisfaction they want to achieve, they were trying so much, but that couldn't satisfy them. Why? Because that will not nourish the soul. One may be a rich person, but he is also hungry. How he is hungry? Because he couldn't satisfy himself. For soul, spiritual activity is required. Spiritual atmosphere is required. Prabhupada gives the example of a fish. The fish natural position is to remain in water. But if you take the fish out of water, and then if you want to supply so many technologies, so many things to the fish won't be happy. The fish can be very happy when it is in the water. But if you take out of the water and keep it in the land, in an artificial atmosphere, if you keep, and then if you want to make that fish happy, it cannot be happy. Similarly, as a spirit soul, we belong to the spiritual world. We can be happy only when we perform spiritual activity. When we want to engage in material activity, that will not satisfy the soul. So this we have to understand. So this Srimad Bhagavatam gives that spiritual. It creates the spiritual atmosphere just by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam. The spiritual atmosphere is created. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, the highest dharma that is mentioned. Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. How the spirit soul gets that satisfaction, full satisfaction, when the spirit soul is engaged in unalloyed devotional service. Unalloyed and uninterrupted devotional service. When we engage in devotional service, when we perform devotional service, then to adokshaja, Krishna, then the soul can be happy. Otherwise, it cannot be happy. So this also we can see, even the so-called religion, so many religions present in the world, but if you see the point, even in Christianity, they pray, oh God, give me daily bread. They pray to the Lord. But we can see the Srimad Bhagavatam gives the highest dharma. Here we can see, here also cowherd boys, they were asking Krishna for food, but not like demanding or not like for praying, not like that. Just they were having so much intimate relationship they have. As a friendly manner, we can become friend of Krishna instead of keeping God as an order supplier. Srimad Bhagavatam teaches us one can become friend of Krishna, and we can have some concern for Krishna. We can have some concern for God. Jiva Goswami explains in the previous, as I mentioned, previous purport, it is not that cowherd boys, they were asking food for themselves. Actually, they are asking food for Krishna and Balarama because they were also hungry. So they have concern for Krishna and Balaram. So this Srimad Bhagavatam teaches so nice that we can have such an intimate relationship with Krishna. This it teaches. And then we see how these Goswamis, if you see, these Goswamis, we went to Vrindavan, we saw, different places of Goswamis, how they did their bhajans. And then how they lived, they didn't eat properly, they didn't sleep properly, but they were not disturbed by the bodily demands. But how could they live? They could live just by this Bhagavat Katha, just by relishing the holy name of the Lord, just by relishing the topics of Krishna. By that, that is the spiritual food. That is the food which is required for to satisfy our hunger, the hunger of the soul. Only that can satisfy the soul. Otherwise, nothing can satisfy the soul. But in the conditioned life, because we are conditioned now, we don't have that much taste for Krishna. Goswamis, they could live without eating, without sleeping. But for us, because we are conditioned, because we are diseased, we don't develop that much taste. But still, when we constantly hearing and chanting, then we can also one day develop the taste for Krishna, relishing the nectar of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, it's in the first canto itself, it's mentioned, Nihama kalpataror galitam phalam shukamukad amrita davya samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasamalayam muhuraha bhavita bhuvibhavakaha. So it's mentioned rasamalayam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is full of nectar. When we are hunger, we want to take food. But if the food is a nectar, it's so nice. So the Srimad Bhagavatam, the topics of Krishna, it's considered to be a nectar. It's considered to be a ripened fruit, touched by a parrot. So it's so nectar. Pure devotees, like Srila Prabhupada, Goswamis, they themselves lived and showed us example how one can live by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. So this we should understand. And then actually in that same verse, in translation, Prabhupada mentions that this Srimad Bhagavatam, even the liberated souls, they also relish this Srimad Bhagavatam. It is not that only we are diseased, so for us, as a medicine we need Srimad Bhagavatam. It is not like that. Even those who are liberated, even for them, it is relishing. It gives pleasure. So when myself and Lakshman and Prabhu, we were going for book distribution, we were going to door, and then one time we come to one person, and he told, "Oh, I have Bhagavad Gita, and I know Krishna, I know about liberation. I am already liberated. I know about Krishna. I am already liberated," he told. And then immediately we opened this sloka, and then we told, we can get liberation, but even the liberated souls, they can get more relishment, in Srimad Bhagavatam. When we showed, and then he was seeing, somehow he took Srimad Bhagavatam. So, like that, the Srimad Bhagavatam is so nectar that liberated souls, even for them, they take nectar from Srimad Bhagavatam. So from this verse, I thought of sharing these points. So, if anybody has some question or comments. Granth Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.